Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. Here's a look at our market leading ETFs via our proprietary scans for the coming week. This is going to be for Monday, October 6th, 2014. We had a pretty good rebound day going. As you can see, we closed mostly above the opens today and decently above most of the VWAP. So we don't have a whole lot of signals to show for what we did on the day here. We don't have any volume bumps in the major broad-based ETFs. Moving on to the domestic sector, so you can see a couple of volume bumps here, but a complete absence of signals. It's really first day up for a lot of these, so it's really dependent on getting some follow through on the next session and turning the trend here and starting to take out some key levels and resuming the uptrend. And that remains to be seen. But for now, the takeaway is we don't have any key reversal signals, but we do have something for the bulls to build on here from this past session. Moving on to the commodities, a lot of movement in the dollar today. The dollar was extremely strong after the non-farm payroll report from Friday, really across the board, making new highs or lows depending on which way the particular currency pair faces across the board. You're seeing that here in the commodities. Volume bumps almost across the board in big moves. But again, no real signals here. This is really just extending the move in the commodities to the downside. Remember, the stronger dollar generally puts pressure on commodities because commodities are based in dollars. As far as the bonds go, the TLTs were fairly quiet with not a volume bump, but a pretty good performance on the day. We did have volume bumps in the LQD and the AGG, and keep in mind some of that is still going to be from the flows out of PIMCO into other assets. As far as the foreign names go, we do have a signal here. We've an upside CPS in the RSX, but that is on late volume. Tracking the Russian market there. The EWZ has a VWAP and an open close deviation and pretty good volume on the day. So that could be interesting for Monday as well. And FXI had very good volume, as did the EWG, but no signals. Moving on to the specials, I think this is really telling because we didn't have any outright signals. We did have a couple of volume bumps, but nothing really sticking out too much there. All right, well, finally, here's our look at our watch list with the bar counts. I think the key thing here was that we had a lot of things that were 9 days down. The spiders and the Qs were both 9 days down here in the seeker startup phase, so we had a definite buffer there. As you go down through the list of the individual sectors, a lot of them were 9 days down. Some of them are still only 8 days down. So there's still going to be some support off of that, and I think that's really the key takeaway here. A lot of the countdowns had flash sell signals that made good on themselves last week, as we had talked about in the ETF preview a week ago. We definitely saw the downward pressure put on the market. But that downward market pressure is now complemented by these nines on the startup phase, starting to buffer that. So we have potential for a little bit of a bounce week next week. Let's see if we can build on something that they started today. And we're going to have to take it one day at a time here to see if they can change trend. Because remember, just one day does not change a trend. All right, folks, good luck next week. And as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.